I had no idea anything could be capable of doing worse than 76. But then
Yeah,
again,
the Anthem.
I have seen stuff regarding Anthem, and I'm not
Or
really surprised.
did you not follow it? The
Oh,
gamer.
I did follow what was going on with Anthem. That's what I'm saying. It's like now that I think about it, it's really just it's a no-brainer that it would do worse than 76 because at least 76 had a established fan base before it even released.
Yeah, I think that's the main point here. Is just like whether or not one game is better than the other is actually kind of moot because Fallout 76 has the Fallout community that's still going to play it because they like Fallout games. Where Anthem, it's just a shit ton of disappointment for anybody who liked Mass Effect. That's all it is.
Yeah.
It's like,
I mean, like I picked up Fallout 4 recently, got into it, really realized how many fucking mods I've got installed, and went, why did I do this? Like, why does that fucking raider have a Desert Eagle? What the fuck?
oh man, don't get me started on unimmersive mods in Fallout.
Well, it wasn't unimmersive.
Speak-
It just caught me off guard. It's like, oh shit, I have those.
Speaking of acquiring old games, I actually just over the weekend, not the weekend, I think it was Friday. Friday was my day off. I picked up Dead Space. Dead
Oh,
Space
okay.
That's one I haven't played.
and Prey,
Oh, the new Prey.
the new Prey. Yeah,
So okay. So you mean the one by yeah,
the one that
by
was
Bethesda.
released by Bethesda, and
The one that
so,
disappointed the shit out of me.
uh, I'm kind of mixed feelings on it. On the one hand, it's surprisingly good in how it's doing things. It feels very it feels
Oh.
very what's that one?
Dishonored.
BioShock.
Oh, BioShock. Yeah.
BioShock,
So
It feels very
here's-
BioShock
yeah, it
and,
feels
and
very
very
BioShock.
Dishonored at the same time.
Well, it's made by the
But
same people who did Dishonored.
Also at the same time, the difficulty spike is fucking insane.
It's a
Like,
hard.
you finally get to a point where you're like starting to be able to manage the enemies at least a little bit as long as you plan right. Into the enemy laughing at you, bending you over whatever object is closest, or just creating one there by themselves, and then
Yeah.
just having their way with your backside as you,
That-
frankly, just flail in absolute. What's the word I'm looking for?
Agony.
that is a game that you
Not agony.
play that you are meant to play as stealth. No, see, here's the thing. I actually like Prey. I like it, and if I never saw the Prey 2 trailer that came out in like 2013 or 14, I don't remember what, I would love this game. No, the Prey 2 trailer that came out was like
No. I mean,
so many
Prey,
years.
Is Prey actually that old that it had a sequel trailer?
Okay, so let me quantify. All right, so Prey was a space game. This is the original Prey. Was a
Yes,
space
I'm aware.
game that was made. It was I don't want to say like
2000
two.
2000 not two, no.
It was before 2010, way before
Like
2010.
2008, 2009, somewhere around there, I want to say.
And
On the Xbox, right?
it was kind of interesting. And then in 2013, they made a Prey 2 trailer at E3 where you were playing a bounty hunter in space. And it looked fucking amazing. When I saw that trailer, I could not at all wait for that game to come out. And then it didn't. And then I forgot that game existed until Prey was announced. And it was not the space bounty hunter game. So it gave me this bad taste in my mouth because we didn't get to play that bounty hunter game that I wanted so bad. But the game itself is actually pretty good. I'm not very far into it, Um, I'm actually pretty much, I would say, at the
See,
beginning.
that sounds like the same kind of feeling I have with Siege. I really wanted Rainbow Six Patriots, and then they gave me Siege instead. It's like, are
Yeah,
you kidding
right?
me? This is
Well,
not
see,
what I wanted.
the interesting thing about it is I'm seeing like aspects of so many games that I loved in Prey.
Oh, it
It's
was
got
made really
Bio,
well.
well, it's got BioShock.
Mm-hmm.
It's got Dead
So
Space.
much like Bioshock.
Yeah, it's got Dead
Feels
Space
so
in it.
the
It's got
horror.
freaking what was the other one that I said?
You said Dishonored, but that's more because
Dishonored.
gameplay.
Gameplay is Dishonored. Inventory
World.
management is
And World.
definitely Dead Space, and
Mm.
it's kind of like a survival horror aspect of it with
Just the general feel of the game, though, is more
general feel of the
Bioshock.
game. The general feel of the game, like how it feels you're supposed to play it, is like Dead Space.
Really?
Yes, yeah, just listen to me for a second.
Okay.
The overall theme is very BioShock.
Okay.
Mhm.
It's like space station, isolated from the outside world, fucking crazy ass shit flying, running around. That's definitely BioShock. Being
Yeah.
able to improve yourself with injections, BioShock.
Yeah, definitely.
Every
Yeah.
a lot of the gameplay mechanics, including the whole space theme of it, that's Dead Space. You know, the survival horror mechanics and all that. And then freaking like the just some of the other gameplay aspects, like the first person aspect, the concept of being able to choose between fight and stealth, that's Dishonored.
hmm
You know, the and it's just so this it's the same thing with the difficulty spike because like
Yeah,
Dishonored
Dishonored would just would whip
Dishonored
your.
was if you did Dishonored in a full fight kind of way, you were going to get your ass kicked over and over and over again until you get it just right. But if you did it the stealth way, it was easier. Way easier. And that's where that's why I'm reminded so much of Dishonored with that. But holy fuck, man! Freaking Prey kicked my ass on Friday night.
Yeah, I still haven't. There are, I want to say, 4 games that I have installed right now that need to finish, but I've only gotten probably the same amount into, and that's Kingdom Come Deliverance, Hitman, Dishonored
Mhm.
2, Prey, and actually Mass Effect Andromeda is still installed.
Let me see what's on my hard drive.
I have fences now, so I have all of my games in a fence called Games.
See, the
Just kind of
two
nice.
the two games I've got installed that I'd really like to finish are the original Half-Life and
You've never finished the original Half-Life?
I've never finished the original Half-Life. I've also never finished System Shock 2.
Oh,
I haven't actually played.
oh.
I got a good ways into that, and then I think I got stuck, and I'm just like,
So-
okay.
If you like Bioshock, you'll love System Shock because Bioshock is a.
I also haven't finished Bioshock.
I've finished those multiple times. So System is what is it? Is it the term? It's spiritual successor. So Bioshock is a spiritual successor to System Shock.
Okay.
Which is, oh man,
I know
I
I'm missing out.
haven't
Let's
heard
see.
anything about this.
I need to finish. Let's see. Where is it? I need to finish Grim Dawn. I need to finish Middle Earth: Shadow of War.
Shadow of Mordor for me.
Grim Dawn
I
plays.
like Shadow of Mordor.
Grim Dawn plays
Let's-
kind of like Path of Exile, doesn't it? Or am I thinking of something else?
Yeah, No, you're right.
Okay.
Grim Dawn plays like Path of Exile. It's pretty good though. It's really, really good. I need
I
to finish.
have Grim Dawn, but I
You
have the
don't like
remastered
isometric games.
Grim Fandango. I'm sorry. Grim
That's
Fandango.
not the same thing at
I
all.
know it's not the
You
same
don't-
thing.
you don't-
I saw
you don't like
Grim and I just
isometrics.
no.
So let's see. I also need to finish. I actually need to start Borderlands pre-sequel. I haven't even started that one yet.
Has that like finished? No, it hasn't. Fuck you. Fuck your shit. Alright, so a long time ago I found out that someone was remaking System Shock, the original System Shock, in the Unreal Engine 4, right?
Uh-huh.
And I am so... This was like years ago. And so I just now went to go see if they had finished it yet. Apparently not. It's still not done. Damn, I want to play this game. Well, the trailers, oh my god, it's like someone. So, again, BioShock is probably next to Fallout for me, right?
Yeah.
I think the top three would be Fallout, BioShock, and Witcher.
So I actually break them down differently. You know, I don't have like a top 3 games of all time.
Oh, I don't either. That's a very similar.
When it comes to like games that are very focused on story, you know, BioShock is definitely in my top 3. Then I break them down further because you've got survival horror games, you've got freaking action like legit RPGs and so on and so forth, and it's like it's sometimes it's hard to like really keep them straight.
Yeah.
Like my favorite strategy games, in Dark Crusade, Dawn of War, Dark Crusade is up there. Command and Conquer is up there. Freaking StarCraft is definitely up there. And then you've got 4K strategy games that are turn-based, and then you've got and in there you've got Stellaris and Endless Space 2, and you have like Empire Builders that aren't turn-based, and with that one is freaking where is it? What's the name of it? Sins of a Solar Empire. There we go. Sins of a Solar Empire is my favorite empire builder type thing, and yeah, it's pretty fun. It's just you really have to understand how the game works with Sins of a Solar Empire, or else you're gonna get just completely wrecked.
Completely wrecked, yeah.
So for me, it's cause I don't even know how to put it. Like, so in my opinion, the best game that has ever been made is The Witcher 3. But it's not my favorite game.
It's about to be Cyberpunk.
Yeah.
I totally had my money on you saying Fallout New Vegas.
No, again, Fallout New Vegas, if we're talking about greatest games ever made, it wouldn't sit up there. The amount of bugs and issues with that game makes it kind of hard to put it up there. But it is my favorite game of all time. So it's kind of, I don't know, strange when I say like my favorite games.
Yeah.
Because I would agree. I would also say that like there's also categories in it. Like I prefer Age of Empires 2 to most other RTS games or
I do
Tiberium Sun.
I liked Age of Empires 2, but it was too easy to take advantage of some really campy mechanics.
So the reason why I liked it was specifically because of the scenario editor. I could go in there and create
I
whatever
thought,
scenario I wanted.
I thought StarCraft's scenario editor was better than.
Maybe because I also prefer the medieval aspect of it. For those kind of games, as weird as this sounds, I don't typically like medieval very much. But for games like,
strategy.
yeah, medieval seems to work more with my brain.
Well, it's understandable because with medieval you have certain tactics that you use, whereas with the more futuristic ones, you can still use the same tactics, but it doesn't translate as well. It's like, why would you have all of these melee units in the future when there are ray guns?
Right.
Right? So like StarCraft, you still have the melee range mechanics where they're kind of tanky. They get up close, they soak up a lot of damage so that, all of your ranged units that don't need to be right next to the enemy can get up behind them and just start melting face.
Pav,
but at the same time, what's up?
I've got to. If you don't have it, I have to buy you Mountain Blade Warband.
I don't have it.
If you
told me about it.
If you like medieval games, it's not high fantasy. It's not For Honor. It's more practical. It's kind of like Kingdom Come, but Kingdom Come does combat better. But it's
Kingdom Come is.
It's a blend of strategy and combat. And
so here's the thing with me with Kingdom Come. I'll actually let you finish, and then I want to make a statement about that.
Well, it's just it's a blend of real-time strategy, empire building, and a first or third person fighting game. And you can.
I will actually choose Life is Feudal over Mountain Blade.
See, I gotta go the other way.
But that's because I prefer the more survival-esque type games.
I mean,
Life is Feudal is very survival.
I mean,
so
the fucking the survival instincts kick in when you realize this warlord attacking you might take the armor you just spent 60 hours grinding to get. I have had that happen. If you lose in combat, the enemy might take one of your possessions as a trophy, and it's random.
Did you make that armor?
No, I bought it.
Did someone else make that armor?
No, it was offered up by one of the game's merchants. But it was something like I think it was something like 20,000 gold, and I spent all, got this nice armor, lost my first battle, they took my armor. I'm like, are you kidding me? I have to wear like fucking peasant rags now. I'm wearing like a great helm, gauntlets, steel plate boots, and a fucking leather jacket. I'm like, I look retarded. I can't command an army looking like this.
I prefer making the armor that I wear.
That's fair. I'm not saying your opinion is wrong. I might think that, but
so Life is Feudal is an MMO that is completely player ran?
They have an MMO version, and then they have a standalone version.
Okay.
They have Life is Feudal MMO and Life is Feudal Your Own. Whereas in the MMO version, it's all on a server, and you all interact with each other, and it is entirely player driven. Your Own, you can actually start your own server, and you can have other people join it, and you can all play together. It's more like an ARC style, where it's got a limited number of people that can play on the server at any given point in time.
Okay.
So it's a little bit more tighter knit community type thing.
Now with Your Own, are there still NPCs you can interact with, or is it strictly?
No, it's strictly players. There are no NPCs.
Right. This is coming back to what we were talking about with Fallout 76.
Yeah.
That's how it should
Bring it back to NPCs. Yeah.
I have 418 hours playing Life is Feudal. I didn't realize that.
So on the point of that I was going into with Kingdom Come Deliverance, that is a game that it takes you a long time to get good at,
Mm-hmm.
and you can't stop playing it. For A, because the game is good, but B, if you stop playing it and try to come back to it, you will just forgotten almost everything.
Kind of
Because
lose
the
your muscle
game's
memory, or
yeah, the game's mechanic is just retardedly difficult. Like, with every other game, you can kind of get by with just like slashing. Nah, you can't get by with anything. Every fight is something that you cannot do mindlessly. Doesn't matter if it's one person, a peasant, or a knight. You have to. You have to think every move fully through in every fight in this game. Because if you don't, a peasant, like any character like that you fight that has a weapon can parry anything you throw at them if you don't set up your attack right. And it's just retardedly hard.
So what you're saying is I should stream Kingdom Come Deliverance, and every time I lose a fight, take a shot.
Get some hours into it first, otherwise
No, I'm going in blind.
You'll be daddy Florbugs in a few minutes. I'm telling you.
Hey, I survived Dark Souls. This should be a piece of cake. It'll be fine. No, I'm not actually gonna do that. But it'll be funny to watch the first time, and only the first time. What do you mean I didn't get past the tutorial? It was 3 hours.
It's not that long, but it's in my opinion, because I'm a story-driven type person. I think the tutorial for that game is perfect. Because that's what it's about. It's establishing everything that's going on around you.
Yeah.
And it does it really well. The way they got story and the role-playing element to that game down was just wonderful. Especially because you're a peasant, right? And the game in combat likes to remind you of that. Peasants don't know how to fight. They don't understand swordplay. So the game, every fight, is going to only just solidify the statement of, you are a peasant. You can't do things like block or parry until you learn it from a soldier. So your first fights are literally just going to be you dying. Over and over. It's a brutal game. I love it, but it's hard to get back into once you've stopped. Because you're just like, all of a sudden the fights require a little bit more anxiety.
They require anxiety, or they require focus?
Focus.
Okay.
And induce anxiety.
Okay.
Somebody was posting something about cats in the chat.
Yeah, that's because of the
reminded me
because of the fucking stream title.
I failed to actually load the stream up to see the chat when it first started.
Oh.
Fun. Well, yeah. So, yeah, we're not yeeting cats here.
Yeah. We're kind of okay with cats, depending on the cat.
I mean, if
Pig,
it's your cat,
do you know what
if it's your cat, the one that would attack your hands while you're trying to type, then we're absolutely okay with that cat.
He doesn't do that now.
Probably because you freaking flicked him in the freaking face a couple of times.
No. I just tossed him into the laundry pile to indicate I didn't want to deal with his shit anymore.
Oh god.
Like, we're done, kid.
Not Twitch. PETA. Are you familiar with what we're referring to there?
Chat.
Pig?
Yes, I am absolutely familiar.
Okay, did you hear the PETA tweet though?
No, I didn't.
Alright. So here's the context for everyone out there. Alright, I want to talk about this for a second, then we'll move on. So a Twitch streamer who's playing Apex Legends, and her cat, Milo, decided to start walking on her keyboard in her hand in the middle of an intense fight. So she yells at it, grabs it, and yeets it behind her head.
Wait. Is that what you guys are calling?
Yeah. It's kind of it's referring to some statements that people have made about the situation. They said, but I also wouldn't yeet her over my head. That's a bit much. So I love because this got a bunch of attention from PETA. So PETA at Twitch on Twitter, and
It
Might as well have been.
take a stand for cats, and please remove Analytity from Twitch immediately. She's using her platform to post animal abuse, which sends a dangerous message to anyone watching her video.
Isn't this coming from the organization that has a higher kill count in its shelters than any other animal shelter organization
Man,
in the United States?
I don't know shit about PETA. I just know that they're completely retarded on Twitter. Because they are.
It's Twitter.
Like,
what do you expect?
Well, but this is where they post most of their official views as the establishment.
Oh, I see.
So here's the thing. It's like, okay, so her cat was walking on her keyboard in the middle of an intense moment. She throws it off the keyboard, right?
Uh-huh.
They interpret that as she's using the platform to abuse animals. What? Also, she's using cats as props for more views. Which, again, how do you get that?
This is fucking James Portnow levels of stupid.
This is literally a 5-second clip of her having to remove a cat from her premises, and they're taking that as she's using the platform to abuse cats.
PETA, she didn't abuse the cat, she liberated it from her keyboard. I thought you liked liberation.
Yeah, they like liberating animals from their fucking bodies.
I just find PETA to be utterly stupid.
Yeah,
It is utterly stupid and utterly cringe. And why the fuck am I so short?
Okay, you know what?
I mean, I can fix that and do this again.
We brought this up when you were first brought on, when you first posted that picture. Do you not remember that conversation?
I totally remember that conversation, but I also don't remember the conversation because I was probably fucking tired as shit.
Okay. Well, the conversation was I wanted Buck to make you shorter.
I was not told to do that. That's just the height of the model.
Make me taller.
Hey, I can do that.
It's only gonna take.
It's only gonna take about
7 hours.
No, 10 minutes.
7 hours.
No.
Your 10 minutes or 7 hours. You told us you'd be able to get these avatars done in like a day. 2 months later.
Okay. We're talking different. We're talking between when I say I'll do it and when it actually happens. That's different. I thought you meant render time.
Uh-huh.
No, render time is going to be about, I think, 5 minutes. But if I do it now, the stream's going to go to shit because Daz is retarded and likes to just eat up my processor.
Don't actually do it. Don't actually do it now. I was joking anyways. I don't really care.
Don't make me! I'll hit the magic button.
As long as the gun I'm holding is bigger than Pav, that's fine.
It's close.
Okay.
It is. So
okay, no, you do have the foregrip on the Tommy there.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And I think it's got a drum mag.
It's one of the I don't care about the drum mag.
But no, it's the M1928 model.
Okay. But no, that's one of the biggest things that pisses me off. As weird as this sounds, when I'm playing Fallout 4, is that the Thompson in the game doesn't have a fucking foregrip. Just
well, that's because it's modeled on the M1A1.
I know, but it's so like it's
the most common model of the Thompson doesn't have foregrip.
Yeah, but you don't think that 200 years and a vast amount of these things wouldn't, have anyone be like, oh, I wonder if I added a little piece of broomstick underneath this
Well,
to make it easier to fire.
you know what bothers me about Fallout 4 is a pipe rifle, a 50 cal pipe rifle does more damage for some reason than a hunting rifle.
Let's not talk about it.
Like, are you kidding me?
Let's not get into this particular topic because then we talk about it for the rest of the stream.
All right, so
Yeah.
we do actually have some articles for everybody out there.
Yeah.
So,
Half-hour long preamble.
yeah, hello, hi stream, how you doing? I kind of ignored you for like the first 5 minutes, 35 minutes.
Isn't that half the draw?
Hmm.
No wonder we have such a low viewership.
What the fuck?
What?
Oh,
What did
that
you do?
screen. I clicked the wrong button.
What did you break this time?
Jesus.
I didn't
Do
break
we need
anything.
to
I just
take away
clicked the
your
wrong
streaming
thing.
rights?
Yeah, maybe, because I just keep proving myself to be incompetent.
Well, let's get the first article we want to talk about up.
So, why don't we just, which one are you pulling up first there, Buck?
Well, I had to close every tab except for YouTube because Polygon, Kotaku, and PC Gamer run so many scripts that it just chews up my memory.
Oh.
So,
Executive
dealer's
decision.
choice.
Already made.
What?
Which one?
I just posted it in live show.
On live show. Gotcha.
Oh, fuck. No, we're not doing that one. Fuck.
No?
Why aren't we-
Yeah, no, we'll do it. We'll do it. Go ahead. I was trying to ignore that one.
I mean, it was a suggestion.
It's there, and it's kind of an impact on today's gaming.
Yeah, but that image, though.
Yeah,
What
I
the fuck is
understand.
that?
Ignore the fucking image.
It's
So
It's from everyone's
China's
least favorite game.
China's anti-addiction regulations put American game developers in an awkward moral situation. By Steven Mesner. It was posted 3 hours ago. Damn.
yeah, this is
let's
pretty friggin' recent.
So I'm only gonna read these first 2 paragraphs just so that we can understand what this whole thing is about. Despite being the largest market for PC games in the world, China's PC gaming scene is also the most heavily censored and regulated. Not
That's a
only do
given.
game developers have to navigate a complicated bureaucracy to get approval to release games, they also have to ensure those games adhere to aggressive rules against violence and gore, spiritualism, and political messaging that isn't aligned with China's communist values. Which could be a reason why a lot of the games coming out nowadays suck balls! Amidst a complete restructuring of China's video game regulations is growing pressure on video game companies like Tencent to develop systems that curb video game addiction by imposing restrictions on how often underage users can play games.
Oh, that's fucking retarded.
Which kind of explains why you have a time limit, and in order to play more, you have to buy coins.
What games do that? None that I
There's a
play.
lot of
see.
mobile games, dude.
Oh.
Yeah. And that's what they're talking about with the whole market is mobile gaming. Mobile gaming is really, really big in China.
Well, they just said actually PC gaming.
Yeah, but
They're referring to.
it's not
Okay.
actually PC gaming that it's actually the mobile gaming that's really big in China. 'Cause,
Yeah.
you know, everyone there has a phone. Not everybody there has a PC.
Oh, so
From
that's-
American com.
I was gonna say, so that's what Diablo Ultimate or whatever the hell it was made for then.
Oh,
Okay,
God.
Amidst a complete where was I? Play games,
Amidst
but against a
second
wider
paragraph, yeah.
context of sociopolitics is the question of to what extent companies adhering to these government-led restrictions on playtime are strengthening an authoritarian regime. What? I mean, really?
I gotta read that again. So wider context
Yeah,
of socio, but against a wider context of sociopolitics is the question of to what extent companies adhering to these government-led restrictions on playtime are strengthening an authoritarian regime.
Punctuation, motherfucker. Do you speak it?
Yeah, fucking put a comma in there for Christ's sake somewhere. Just
You've got like 4 fucking sentences in that shit.
if a sentence is longer than 3 lines, you can shorten it. Strengthening an authoritarian regime. What the fuck?
A recent report in LA Times focused primarily on LA-based developer Riot Games, who is owned by Tencent, China's largest tech company that also owns stakes in gaming companies ranging from Epic Games to Activision Blizzard. In this report, Riot Games is allegedly pressured by Tencent to develop an anti-addiction system in compliance with proposed regulations laid out by China's Ministry of Culture and Tourism last year. Okay, so this is actually getting into a little bit into the meat of it. New system, which is already implemented in the Chinese version of League of Legends, has features that limit players under the age of 18 from playing for more than 2 hours a day, and can also stop players from playing during certain times of day, or limit timed-based rewards. Tencent isn't the only company to implement these systems in order to stay in the good graces of the Chinese government. Though World of Warcraft's Chinese servers have had playtime restrictions for years, I had no idea about that.
I had no idea either.
Alright, so what's concern... I was just going to read just the first 2 paragraphs.
Now we're all intrigued. It's like, what the hell is going on here? Got to see where this goes.
What's concerning, according to the author, is that these systems require players to enter their national ID, similar to a social security number, in order to verify their identity and track their playtime.
Oh, right, going back to China's social credit system. I think
similar practice to other Asian countries like South Korea, which also often requires those playing online to link their accounts to a form of government ID.
Jesus, Korea's doing it too? I didn't know that.
Well, Korea
North Korea, I'd see.
No, I understand why Korea's doing that. So South Korea has a huge problem with gaming addiction. Like,
that's true. I mean, StarCraft is a sport in South Korea. That's unheard of in the U.S.
Actually, there's a really big... Never mind, you uncultured swine.
I didn't think that through, but...
Good!
I get what you mean.
Good that you admit this. I'm glad that you admit this. Because there's quite a big following of StarCraft in the StarCraft 2 in the freaking gaming community for esports.
Well, esports, yeah, but don't I might be wrong, but aren't there like StarCraft teams at like the high school level in Korea, and that's only like now starting to take off in the U.S. or has been taking off for the last year? I don't know. I'm probably fucking wrong. I don't know.
There's been StarCraft and StarCraft 2 teams that mostly high school age kids to mid 20s have been part of since StarCraft.
Yeah, that's also something that could probably be an issue. Is what about the kids who end up making a career out of video games like StarCraft?
A lot of the time, they do end up making careers out of it.
Yeah, so
They are around 28, but they've earned quite a bit of money by the time they've reached 28.
Yeah. Well, I guess if there's a playtime restriction, then they gotta get good fast.
It's like there are a lot of casters, game casters who tell sportscast kind of StarCraft games that they used to be professional players, and now they cast the games because they can't keep up anymore because they're old and they have carpal tunnel. It's like Day9 TV, freaking, he was a pro player and he did really well, and then he started casting, and then He's got his freaking masters now, and he's actually, I'm pretty sure he's got a job.
I'd hope.
Well, he's fucking almost as old as I am, I think. But yeah, I mean, being a professional professional gamer is
It's lucrative. It's probably
It's
hella
very
competitive, but
lucrative.
it's lucrative.
the big problem is like there's a bigger market
Mm-hmm.
for like physical sports, so the payouts aren't as good unless you're like at the top of the line, top level.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like going to the standby a moment.
Thankless stuff. Well, while we're on the topic of esports, I want to just kind of put this out there. I don't understand PUBG as an esport.
I don't either.
Because
There's too much RNG.
when I was at PAX last year, I was watching
Sorry,
the
wild panda moment. Let's move
No,
on
you're
to
good.
what I was talking about, to something
Okay,
that...
can I finish my little
Yes,
point
yeah,
here?
no,
And then
I'm just
okay.
saying I'm done talking.
So-
You can go ahead.
Okay, so when I was at PAX, they had the PUBG, like that was the big thing last year was PUBG and Fortnite, mostly
Right.
Fortnite. But they had the PUBG regionals going down, and some grand prize or whatever the hell. And I'm sitting in the stands at the Paramount watching this show go down, and they're spectating this one guy who's got a UMP 45, and he gets taken out by a guy with a Car 98 from outside. And the commentator goes, "Oh, what a bad play by the guy with the UMP." I'm like, "Are you kidding me? That bad play? You have a submachine gun. He's got a fucking bolt action. What are you gonna do?"
Nothing.
It's kind of obvious. Like, you're stuck with this RNG gun. Good luck. You can make it. I guess you can make a bad play, but when it comes to range, anyway, just that bit stuck out to me. I'm like, that's not what you say. It's like,
Yeah, that's
you say,
that's
oh,
not-
what a stroke of bad luck, not what a bad play. It's like,
Well,
what the
that's
fuck?
one of the things that gets brought up with in regards to. There's a huge amount of the Fortnite player base that I've heard about recently that is really upset with Epic Games, because Epic Games has been pushing it to become an esport,
Uh-huh.
but they continue to make some things more RNG, and it's just like, what the fuck are you guys doing? Like, if you're going one direction with it, you can't pull like the opposite direction to make things even
Yeah.
worse.
Yeah, I that just...
I don't really follow those styles of games.
No,
we're not
get you.
talking
It's-
about following that. I'm just talking about like this kind of game, like PUBG as an esport. I don't get it.
No, it doesn't. So PUBG, you have multiple things that are random. The
Yeah.
flight path, sometimes flight path, where people go, where weapons are, because it's
Weapon drops,
never consistent.
Ammo drops,
Yeah, you c-
armor drops.
Like I play. Yeah,
Like with
all these things
StarCraft-
are random.
With StarCraft, you've got skill. You can pick your team, the team you're best with, and use your skills with that team to compete. In PUBG, you've got skill, but your skill is mitigated by what guns you are given.
Right, like you drop into a building, and then somebody else drops into the building next to you. They get
They get a shotgun,
an
you get a pistol.
M14.
Let's
Yeah.
say. Or yeah, they get an M14.
well,
Let's say they get an M14 and you get the auto pistol.
Basically, you just don't get a gun.
Or that.
If they can chase you down. There's no what's it called? There's no
There's no skill element.
limit to sprinting.
Yeah.
There's no limit to sprinting, so it's not like you have to worry about sprinting across an area. You could just get chased down, and I think that's what a lot of the issue is. It, in my opinion, it can't be an esport, just on the grounds of how the base mechanics work, because no one's on an even playing field.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That's why we were talking about it. Not the game itself, just it doesn't make any sense to be an esport. That's the reason why it kind of like when we were playing PUBG and like bug would happen, somebody would yell esports ready. And I'm like, it would irk me. It would irk me because it's a weird thing.
This is a weird
to judge
thing
it
to
on.
Try and be esports.
Yeah.
This is,
Yeah. So why are we even pushing for
So,
this to be an esports ready game?
it's almost all luck.
Yeah. Yeah, I can drop into a building, and some games I've dropped into a building, I got a freaking car, an 8x scope, a bunch of ammo, an M16, and like a level 3 vest. I'm balling in the first building. Or I've dropped in and I've gotten literally 9mm ammo
And
and a
that's it.
helmet.
You didn't even get a gun to use it with.
Nope.
So anyway, back to the article. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to derail everything, but
Well, we were talking about it.
yeah.
Esports there.
That's exactly where was I? American companies are part of American society and should be institutions that we can trust, abiding by American values. Jay Stanley, a policy analyst at the American Civil Liberties Union, told the LA Times, if these companies are running overseas and participating in authoritarian regimes, then it's a real problem. What?
That's a very. Did we miss something in the
That's-
last paragraph?
That's a very that's a very I mean really that's a very conservative take.
Well, it's,
Yeah, I was
it's also
gonna
a
say, it
jump
took
from
a-
the original conversation.
Yeah, that too. Like we were talking about like how this works in China and
I'm
South
just gonna-
Korea.
I'm just gonna jump to the last few paragraphs, because it seems like some of it. Yeah,
Yeah, as game developers become increasingly global organizations, how games are altered for certain markets and who should have the final say in those decisions is an important question. I agree. In the case of China, the answers aren't entirely clear right now. On one hand, the system currently exists primarily to curb overindulgence in minors. On the other, it could feed into a network of other data that is unfairly used against people. Problem that isn't isolated to China alone. What?
all right. Here's my
This
issue.
feels like tinfoil hat level.
Well, okay.
So-
So here's my issue with the entirety of this article. I'm sorry, but I want to kind of make this. I play games a shit ton, right? If I play games too much to the point where like I'm not making enough money to live, I don't get a job, blah blah blah, that's gonna hurt me a lot. So I have an issue with the entire concept of curbing overindulgence in minors, because just it's the same thing. Like, it's not exactly prohibition, but it's along the similar levels. I don't like that much control from anyone.
I feel that, in my personal opinion, I feel that you should give people as much rope as they can hang themselves with.
I can agree with that.
If someone wants to ruin their life and their current situation by overindulging in alcohol, drugs, video games, gambling, so on and so forth, that should be their freedom to make that mistake. But
They could learn for it.
It should also be their freedom to wallow in that mistake. Just saying.
Yeah. So, in my opinion, like this is another think of the children argument, and that never phases me at all. Because the more restrictions you add onto things, the worse and worse things can eventually get, in my opinion. And I just don't like the idea of anything saying, yes, you can only play 2 hours of this game. What? Why? I had a day off. I got nothing to do today, and why can I only play 2 hours of it?
I feel like that 2 hour thing, it actually kind of feeds the addiction a little bit.
Oh, I need my 2 hours today.
Yeah.
Like, I have homework to do, but I need to get my 2 hours in today. Whereas, I can come back to video games later, because I can play them at any time whenever I want.
Exactly, and it also it's one of the the Eve effect. In regards to the apple, no, you can't. The more restricted it is, the more you want it.
Yeah.
Whereas, like, I can go 3 months without playing video games because I have other things to do, and then I can come back because I can come back.
Exactly. And if you have a limit on it, you're going to dedicate at least that limit every single day that you can, because otherwise
You lose it.
You lose it. You can't get it back.
That's just dumb to me. Retarded. I find that something that is just, I don't know. Because I can see the think of the children in this, right?
Absolutely.
But at the same time,
think of the children in this.
But at the same time, it's just like, I mean, if you want parents to do that, parents can and have in the past done that. You go 2 hours to play a video game. Okay.
Yeah.
The main thing about that is that it's the parents, so they can exempt it, they can enforce it, they can like play back and forth. That's kind of the whole argument of federal versus like local. Things are a lot more subjective, and I think that's another thing. Like I said, I have I work every day this week, and I get Monday off, and on Monday I want to just play video games all day. Well, why? Because I've been busy doing productive things for the past 7 days.
I want to unwind.
Is that such an issue?
I want to have fun. I want to cut loose. And it's like...
That's such an... Yeah.
Well, I'll just say I'm happy I'm not Chinese.
That sounded really racist.
Well...
What's wrong with you?
Nothing.
Yeah, no, I'm
that's
happy.
Me.
I'm happy I don't live in China. I don't care if that sounds racist.
Well, there's the difference is happy I'm not Chinese versus happy I'm not living in China.
Okay. All right. So then you were being racist. I was assuming that they were one and the same, and
man, I am full of not thinking things through tonight.
But all right. So somebody said something about meth gators.
Meth gators?
Meth gators?
Meth gators.
Did Florida man strike again?
No, I would actually say this is a Florida woman.
So methed up gators and ducks and geese. Oh God, it's not just gators. Tennessee police warn against flushing drugs down the. Oh my God. Holy shit! Holy shit!
God.
Guys, I know you're doing this to not get caught, but please stop flushing your drugs down the toilet. We're dealing with a ton of meth-addicted gators. It's making things hell for everyone.
That's how you get Mirelurks.
Mirelurks are crabs.
Crabs. Though. Yeah. No, it's
they're crabs
so
addicted
funny.
to meth.
He made a reference to Fallout, so I laugh.
Well, not canonically speaking. I'm just making a fucking joke. Come on, you're killing me here.
Mark was the one who suggested this article, but he went AFK right as we started reading it.
Oh,
pray to never encounter a meth gator. An alligator on methamphetamine. Okay. What? Okay, so why did it...
I know it ain't games, but this is too funny to pass it. Yeah. I gotta...
Yeah, no, I kind of want to read this. So...
I'm bringing this up.
I'll read it.
Come on. Oh my God.
So I'll post the rest of the article.
Oh,
we're
there we go.
Live show, so we have a good
there
thing
we go.
to reference.
Oh God, this is hilarious. Alabama fugitive who fed meth to pet attack squirrel named D's Nuts.
Shit. Oh my God.
Still in Alabama. An Alabama man who denied feeding methamphetamine to a so-called attack squirrel he considered a pet has been arrested on new charges. The Limestone County Sheriff's Office tweeted that 35-year-old Mickey Polk was caught Thursday night following a chase in which he rammed an investigator's vehicle. Authorities had been seeking Polk on multiple felony warrants unrelated to the squirrel he named D's Nuts. After police said they were warned about a meth-fueled squirrel that had been trained to attack. Polk told the Associated Press last week that he was working on a plan for turning himself into authorities. The sheriff's office said narcotics investigators caught up with him while surveilling a motel in Killen. They spotted... What the fuck? I lost it. Where'd it go?
I've lost where you are. I have no idea where you even are in the article.
This is another one? Is this in a live show? Where is this?
I got redirected. I'm going back to that.
Okay.
Okay.
The sheriff's office said narcotic investigators caught up with him while surveilling a motel in Killen. They spotted Polk leaving on a stolen motorcycle and chased him down. Polk has been booked into the rest of it. As for D's Nuts, authorities say he couldn't be tested for meth and has been released. That's fucking hilarious.
Oh my god.
I don't care who you are. That's hilarious. Polk is, in spirit, a Florida man.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
Fucking Christ.
Just
Godspeedy, magnificent bastard.
I'm just reminded of Archer. Do you guys remember Archer Vice?
Yes.
I think it was like
oh
season.
My God, it was awesome.
Season 5 or season 6. Yeah, that was fucking great. It was wonderful. I loved Archer Vice.
I actually haven't watched Archer in a while.
So they're in the middle of season 10 right now. And apparently at Comic-Con, they announced that they have been approved to go and do season 11, and that it might be the actual final season. For those who haven't watched it, right now we're in kind of a very interesting thing. The writers got kind of bored of the mission of the week. So in season 7? Yeah, season 7, they decided to, instead of just continuing it as if it was the continuous show, they started creating Archer blank for each season. So you had Archer Vice, which was interesting, and then it kind of went back to its norm for the season after that. And then in season 7, you had Archer Dreamland, which it's all the same characters, but it's all their archetypes, but it's in a different time period, location, and all the different things. So Dreamland is set in the 1940s, where Archer is a PI, and Mother is not actually his mother. She's just named Mother. She's a drug kingpin that runs a club called Dreamland. Then the season 8.
This is all happening in Archer's head, by the way.
Correct. Yeah. No, actually, no. That was season 8. Season 9, what is called Archer Danger Island. So Danger Island takes place, in I think the 20s. Yeah, the 20s or 30s, and it's on an island that's occupied by France, where Archer is an old. He's a veteran pilot that is now running a kind of what do we call it? A transportation service, where he flies cargo planes.
Okay.
And all of the ones that they've done have been hilarious. This current season that they're in the middle of now is called Archer 1999, and it's set in space, and it's hilarious. But
I haven't watched Archer since the start of Dreamland because I just had so much other shit.
I actually just rewatched the entire series because I've been looking for a show to watch during.
Do they have it on Netflix?
It's on Hulu.
You two are gonna hate me. I've never seen Archer ever.
All right. So here's the thing with Archer.
We don't hate you.
Yeah, here's the thing with Archer.
Really disappointed.
I'm just gonna be written out of the will. I know.
Archer was made by a man in love with movies. So the entirety of that show is an homage and a reference to every movie and TV show that has came out since the beginning of film.
It's also a
Spy.
007 spoof.
Yeah. Well, no. Well, yeah, but that's the main thing. It's spoofing. But there's
Right.
but like with each of these seasons, right? So Dreamland is like a spoof of a noir film or a noir show. Danger Island is like a spoof of like Indiana Jones or something like that.
Okay.
Archer 1999 is a spoof of, like, so far I've seen references to Firefly, Star Trek, Star Wars,
Sci-fi in general, then.
yeah.
Archer Vice is basically just
Yeah.
Hawaii 5-0.
No, but from the other side. They're the ones selling drugs.
Basically.
It's Milwaukee 5-0. Fucking.
Yeah, the series is great. It's just a bitching good time, and I actually really want to get Hulu now just to watch Archer.
It's fucking hilarious. Right now it's hard. It's hard to watch Archer 99 because I don't have TV and it's not streaming anywhere. I'm really kind of grumpy.
The most, probably the thing about Archer that really just connects with me is, for some reason, the spoofing of it just reminds me so much of C-Lab 2021. If you've ever seen that. I'm old as fuck, I know.
No, that rings a bell. I haven't seen it, but
Yeah.
I've heard the name.
It's one of the original Adult Swim titles.
Okay.
That they started with, and it's basically C-Lab characters, but the whole thing is ridiculous and over the top.
So
Goofy as shit.
for me, it's like Red versus Blue meets Family Guy meets James Bond.
Yes, I will agree to that.
It's got the same similar almost comedy of Family Guy.
Red versus Blue.
And it's like a mixture of those two things with like callback references that like yeah.
Okay.
And then but it's set up as Archer is a he doesn't work for the CIA, he works for ISIS, which at the time did not exist. That's the greatest part of it.
Yeah.
You know how many shows had ISIS as like names? Like there was like 3 or 4 BBC shows that like one of them had a dog that was named ISIS. There was a bunch of others, and then
ISIS became
like
a thing.
your thing, and they killed off the dog, and then
Fucking A.
The thing is like, I was going somewhere with this, but then it just decided it didn't work anymore.
is it?
Dead air.
Yeah, that's me every single night. Dead air and not wanting to work.
I think one of the best selling points for that show is actually the trailer to season 5, which is Archer Vice. It's the end of the first episode of that season, and it's literally just Archer viewing, like, because his character is in love with movies. So
That's what I was going to say. That's
What?
I was gonna say. So you were talking about like Archer being a spy and everything. I was going to say, and he actually is a really good spy somehow.
Yeah. Hilariously enough, when it comes down to it, he actually is pretty solid at his job. And, like, it's funny because he's played off as this, like, incredibly asshole-ish, retarded, arrogant, narcissistic character. But when missions, like, get hot, like, all of a sudden he's doing shit that you're like, oh, shit, okay, alright, things are happening.
He's a fucking badass, so it's not so much arrogance as in he can probably get away with just about anything he wants. My favorite,
Unless it comes to Lana.
Alyssa comes Solana. My favorite episode is when he's getting recruited, and his mom blacklists him.
Yeah, no, she sends out a burn notice when she was incredibly drunk.
And he's in France. And he gets caught butt fucking this dude's fiance.
Which, to be fair to Archer, Archer was offered her, Drexler, the head of that spy agency, offered her up to him. And no one told him that, not even her told him that she was going to be married to Barry.
Yeah.
Like, no one made any, and by the end of the episode, you realize she just likes having sex with literally everyone. But Barry was so butthurt by
the entire, for the next 5 or 10 minutes, they're in an elevator, and Archer is just making it so much worse. Like, oh man, can you smell it?
Oh yeah, because he still didn't know until the end. He didn't actually. I don't think he knew until he finally ends up fighting Barry. Then Barry happens to mention the fact that that's his fiance. Drexler at the end, he's like, "Oh, I didn't know. How did you not know?" No, that's the show is raunchy as fuck. Like sometimes it gets a little bit too much. Like Topaz can't watch it. I've tried to get her to watch it a few times, but she can't.
Why can't Topaz watch it?
Okay, so I'm not gonna go into Topaz and TV shows and movies because that's a whole other conversation.
Does she just not like raunchy stuff?
And her response is the actual reason why I wasn't going to go into it.
What is her response?
I'm hearing cat noises.
Basically. that's
cat noises?
We have a cat in the chat, I think. You make that a Dr. Seuss book, Cat in the Chat.
But, so, no, Archer's good. You should watch it. I wish I could convince Topaz to watch it.
Topaz, watch Archer.
Are you watching the stream?
I can hear you, you know.
Are you watching the stream?
No.
Okay.
What the fuck?
Okay.
That's her decision.
I feel so betrayed right now, though.
Yeah, I'm stabbed through the neck, but that's her decision if she wants to stab me through the fucking neck.
I want
shot through the heart. All right. So the next article that we have is actually the last one that's posted in live show. It's by Polygon.
Polygon.
So, last week was Comic-Con, San Diego Comic-Con. I am not very caught up with comic books, especially
Oh my god, I saw Female Thor. Nope. Not watching that one.
Okay, so we'll get to that.
So much for the Meth Gators. But
we finished it, didn't we?
No,
we didn't even start it.
I sidetracked with the attack.
With the fucking attack
No
squirrel, which is
wonder
better.
I couldn't fucking follow you. I was like, what the hell are you reading?
I found a link talking about an Alabama man and his methed up attack squirrel in the article, and I followed it. And we all benefited from me following that link.
Oh, that's because
we had no idea what the fuck was going on.
You must have found it when I went to BRB.
Something like that.
Okay,
You weren't gone for long.
Bye.
So now let's just move on.
So Comic-Con happened, and one of the big things that was announced was Phase 4 of the MCU. For those who do not know, Marvel is actually broken up into 2 phases when it comes to their Marvel Cinematic Universe, which is separate from the comic book universe. So I'm pretty sure Endgame was the end of Phase 3, if not, what's it called? Far From Home? Yeah. Far From Home. I think Far From Home was the
tail end of
the
that,
last
or
one.
tail end of phase
Yeah, it
3.
was like an intermediary one. So, as you can see by this little timeline that is very prominently posted, we have finally a Black Widow movie. I was so pissed
Finally.
that freaking
It took
Captain
so
Marvel.
long.
Yeah, Captain Marvel got a freaking standalone movie before Black Widow. That pissed me
And
off.
Black Widow has been a beloved character since the first Avengers movie. Not even the first Avengers movie.
Yeah, from the first time she showed up in Iron Man.
Yeah.
I think I need new eyes. I read WandaVision as Wakanda Vision.
All right,
Like,
so
that's not what
actually,
that says.
so mostly what you're seeing here is there are actually only 1, 2, 3, 4 movies on here. Most of this is for the Disney streaming service. So Falcon and the Winter Soldier are not movies. They're going to be only specific to the. I think they might be like short, like animated things.
I swear
So
to
is
God, if you say
WandaVision-
Doctor Strange is not going to be a movie, I will.
So Doctor Strange it's going to be a movie. I'm not sure about Shang-Chi. It could be.
I don't
Eternals-
see the Disney Plus icon under Shang-Chi, so...
Yeah. And then Ethereals. Eternals? Eternals. Jesus Christ. What is wrong with me? Eternals is going to be a movie. Loki is not. Neither is Hawkeye or What If, which I don't know if What If is actually anything that I should be interested in. The last thing there is Thor, Love, and Thunder. So it wasn't until Ragnarok where I actually even cared about Thor.
I loved Ragnarok.
Ragnarok was great, but every movie about Thor before that was retardedly boring. So mainly the two big announcements were Black Widow and Thor: Love and Thunder. Black Widow because finally, Thor: Love and Thunder because it's garnered controversy, and I can already hear some little bit of irritation from my two co-hosts. But I would like to dismay some of that and probably explain it to you guys a little bit. The Eternals apparently is going to have Angelina Jolie in it. I don't know.
Is she playing Grendel's
No.
mother?
I have no
I was
idea.
excited for a
That's
second.
all I know
I don't
Angelina
know.
Jolie for is Grendel's mother and fucking Tomb Raider. And the Tomb Raider movies weren't even good. They were just entertaining.
Wanted, and then the
I
Tourist.
didn't see Wanted.
The Tourist.
Didn't see that either.
The Tourist was actually pretty good. So then, Falcon and the Winter Soldier. Obviously is is he still Falcon or is he now Captain America? Because he's got Captain America's shield now. I don't know.
He's still Falcon.
Okay.
Oh, he's got the shield and wings. God, there's our air
So-
support right there. Just fuck you.
So
Fucking-
I read what I do read, because I do read some comics. What I do read is DC, so things like the Eternals, Shang-Chi, and WandaVision is gibberish somehow. Is gibberish.
WandaVision?
What the hell is WandaVision?
Wanda's Scarlet Witch.
Oh! Okay. What the fuck is that name then? What?
I think
Okay. You
Wait
have
a
a
minute,
character
isn't,
that's known as Scarlet Witch, and you're gonna call the movie that that is her own
Isn't,
WandaVision?
I wonder if they're gonna make it crazy.
Isn't
That'd be
Scarlet
interesting.
isn't Scarlet Witch X-Men?
Super interesting when she
No.
gets crazy in the
No?
comics.
Technically she isn't. As far as the MCU is concerned, no.
Or
She's a part of the
maybe,
Avengers.
Huh. What the fuck? X-Men's still Marvel, isn't it?
Yes.
Okay.
But remember, Marvel and MCU are two distinct things.
Okay, that's where I'm confused.
Yeah, so the MCU is the movies, and they are following their own timeline with their own placement of characters.
And then the X-Men have their own thing, and Deadpool somewhere in the middle.
Yeah. So the X-Men is made by Fox and Marvel, which is completely separate. Just like the Fantastic Four was, and
They're rebooting the Fantastic Four.
No, not anymore.
Yes,
that
they
movie
are.
was. Oh wait,
They're doing it again.
Phase 5.
Oh fucking shit! All right, moving on. So Doctor Strange will explore the multiverse, which is actually kind of cool. Loki apparently is going to have his own TV show.
And it's the Loki that everyone fell in love with back from the first Avengers movie.
Right. Who is not dead by the time of the TV. Okay, so it's set during that time period.
Mm-hmm.
So then you have Hawkeye, which is just like, okay.
No one cares? Question mark.
I'm not really all that interested. I mean, they could have had something interesting. And then the big reveal is Natalie Portman is the female Thor in Thor: Love and Thunder. Alright, to give some backstory, to give some explanation to those who do not know, since I already know, at the very least, Pig is going to have issues with this. Alright, so, in the Marvel cinematic, in the Marvel comics, Thor, the title Thor, has been given to numerous different people, not just Thor, which in my opinion is confusing, and I'll bring up like my issues with this whole thing.
You're not alone there.
In a little bit. In a little bit.
Basically a Captain Britain situation.
I need to get this out. Because I know Pig's gonna start interrupting me if I stop talking.
How about I just start interrupting you before you stop talking?
So, basically...
Oh, hey, by the way, guys. I'm done.
Okay.
So, this is not a new thing, and actually, so, what is her name? God, I'm terrible with names. No, Valkyrie is a different character. So, in the first two Thor movies, not Ragnarok, Natalie Portman played the love interest of Thor on Earth. Can never fucking remember her name.
Blows my mind that they're using the same actress for this character.
That's who she is. She's the same character.
That's the joke.
Okay. You're interrupting me. All right.
Joke I was making, dude.
So in the comics, Thor ends up. The reason why his love interest takes the mantle of Thor is because Thor has become unworthy to hold Mjolnir. Mjolnir. Thank you. And so the person who picks it up and is worthy is his girlfriend, and she dons the mantle Thor for a while. I think for about 2 years. While
I think
Thor
that
himself
whole thing, though, kind of kills Ragnarok. What the Ragnarok did, because Ragnarok, Mjolnir was revealed to just be a tool for Thor to focus his power.
There's some extra things. So this is where my issues come in, right? All right. So here's my problem, and actually Jeff made a video about this on the second channel where he was explaining this away.
I was thinking about watching it.
It's an interesting video, but I left a really long ass comment because I want to. I actually have no issue with this decision that they're going to have whatever the fuck her name is. I cannot remember her name.
Natalie Portman.
The in the movie,
like Julie West or something like that.
She's just call her Natalie Portman.
Okay. And Natalie Portman play a male Thor. Okay, so here's why. So if you watched Endgame, basically where Thor ends up, Thor is this chubby, just kind of ridiculous guy.
He's
who has
cosplaying
decided,
Big Lebowski.
Basically. And he joined the Guardians of the Galaxy on their ship. And he's no longer just the hero of Asgard anymore. He's joined the the Guardians of the Galaxy, which means his story is taken somewhere else. Not only that, he's no longer using Mjolnir.
'Cause it was
So in my
destroyed
opinion,
by his sister.
right? In my opinion, them introducing the female Thor, which has already existed in the comics now, makes sense. That doesn't feel, to me, it doesn't feel ham-fisted. The second thing, where my issue comes into this, is okay. So with every other superhero, you have, I'm going to use Peter Parker and Spider-Man as an example,
Mm-hmm.
right? So Spider-Man is the costume, Peter Parker is the person. Now, if you want someone else to don the costume, say like Miles, I don't remember his last name.
Miles Morales.
Miles Morales.
Or Gwen.
It makes sense. Or well, actually, she's called Spider-Gwen, so that's a little bit different.
She's dead.
Shut up. Don't remind me of that shit. So.
Don't spoil it for me.
So.
I haven't watched Endgame yet.
Uh,
Infinity War yet.
God damn it.
Not in either of those.
Yeah, look, we're not even talking about that either.
We're not.
I know.
So-
I know. I'm aware of what happened to Gwen.
Her head hit the ground just a little bit. They're so fucking
Well,
stupid. All right.
actually, in the comics, her head didn't hit the ground.
I know, but in the movie, those fucking bastards killed her.
I know.
The fucking assholes.
But-
I can't.
but
It pisses me off
it-
to no
it-
end.
Yeah,
They were
yeah,
staying
yeah, man.
true.
Fuck gravity.
They were staying true to the comic.
Yeah, they
The
were.
original comic. Gwen was killed in the same situation,
Fuck.
but her head
you.
didn't hit the fucking ground. It was just a quick drop and a sudden stop.
Oh shit.
I think it actually made it more impactful for them to have her actually look like it saved her.
Yeah, there's like maybe
that was a
she-
good
there was
cinematic
the-
choice.
It
Yeah,
was
that was a
sudden-
good cinematic choice. Now
yeah,
that you
was-
mention it that
was
way.
a sudden stop and the from her falling and then just him grabbing where he stuck the web to her to stop her from falling is what killed her. If he had gotten a hold of her back or her lower back or her shoulders or something, she probably would have lived. But no, he got her leg. So
Oh, okay.
Whiplash actually is what killed her. She
So,
got whiplash so hard her neck broke.
So, back to my original point. This makes sense, and the character, both your audience as well as story-wise, it makes sense to do. Having Miles Morales, be Spider-Man, because it's not. I like him too. It's not he's not Peter Parker Spider-Man. Now it's Miles Morales Spider-Man, which works. Now, if Miles Morales was named Peter Parker, and
It wouldn't work.
it wouldn't work because Peter Parker is not Miles Morales. They're two different people.
Yeah.
But having Miles Morales be Spider-Man makes sense. Where my issue with this female Thor comes in is Thor is literally his name. He doesn't have a second name. When he dons the mantle of Thor, he's still Thor. He just, like, there is no difference between the two characters. So they're calling someone who isn't Thor, Thor. And that irks me a little bit because it doesn't really make any sense.
Thank you for vocalizing the very reason why I have issues with this whole progression. She wants to be some kind of superhero who's carrying Mjolnir, fine, but she's not
Right.
fucking Thor because Thor is one person.
I mean, if like his name was freaking if his name was Chris Hemsworth in the movie, and when he picks up Mjolnir, he's now Thor.
Yeah, if the
Now-
Hammer actually gave him his powers, that'd be one thing.
Yeah.
But
Yeah,
it
so that
doesn't.
also so with this fact, this also dawns another. It asks a question that they can't answer and shouldn't be asked given where we are. It asks the question: is Thor the mantle that he dons, or is it actually him? Because if you watch the movies, it's actually him. And in the comics, like even after he loses Mjolnir, he's still powerful and he's still the god of thunder. But so to me, the issue is not that it's a female, because I don't give two shits about that. I mean, granted, from what I've heard, it was like when they first did it, like the first couple of issues for this, it was incredibly cringy.
Just like the Batwoman pilot episode.
Oh God, you watched that?
I've seen snippets.
I can't. I just
It's
can't.
I haven't.
Don't. It's
I
garbage.
I can't.
No,
I
it's
was
garbage.
excited. I was excited. Batwoman is a dark, interesting character, and then I watched the trailer and I'm like, "What the fuck is this shit?"
Yeah.
Was
It
she
was
just like?
bad.
Was
It
she
was
just
so
like Harley
bad that
Quinn?
even
But I'm asking, was she
No,
like Harley
no,
Quinn
no.
but not crazy? Just
Here-
like
here's
I'm
one
gonna
of the
make quotes
quotes.
every 5 seconds.
No, here's one of the quotes from the trailer. No, I'm not gonna wear the bat suit because I don't want a man taking
credit for women's work.
yeah, for a woman's work. And so and
Excuse me, I'll be right back. I'm gonna kill myself.
So the rest of the trailer just seemed like a lot of that, like she's better than Batman. I think there was even a comment about that, like by some random person in the trailer. And so it's dumb. You give a female character a spotlight. That doesn't mean that everything about them has to be the fact that she's female. There's nothing
or LGBTQ plus.
or yeah.
AAIP, ACLU.
What's sad is it was so garbage that the shill media couldn't even spin it off as good. Like all of the articles talking about it are admitting that it's fucking garbage, but they're doubling down and saying they're still excited for what's to come.
It looks so bad, and I'm so disappointed because I like Batwoman. I really do.
I like Batwoman's character. I'm just this portrayal of Batwoman is fucking garbage.
So, I guess
Ladies and
coming
gentlemen,
back to
this has
Natalie.
been Locked and Loaded and Geek Culture.
Yeah. And
So we
I'm
mentioned
way over
Natalie
here on the
Portman
corner
being
because I'm
Thor.
like, what are comics?
So, I'm actually excited for this movie. I want to see it. I understand what's being done. Like, I understand that this is not Thor, so this isn't going to confuse me. But I think for the general audience that doesn't read comics or doesn't understand how a lot of these things go, this is going to confuse the shit out of them. And I think that's a huge failing.
My only gripe with Natalie Portman as the actress, she's not jacked enough. Like you've seen how
Okay,
Rule 63
what-
Thor
God.
is drawn in the
Hold
comics.
Hold on.
I don't even read comics. I know that Lady Thor is buff.
Yeah, no,
Portman
but
is not
this, let me
buff.
go. Hold on, let me go find her name because Jane Foster. Hold on,
Foster. Okay.
Jane
I knew the first name was a J.
Foster. Let me look at images of her. So images of her before she became Lady Thor. She looks like Natalie Portman.
Yeah, but after that, like I'm not thinking
But-
beforehand. I'm thinking
so-
after that.
So right, but that's what I mean. So we haven't seen her donning the garb yet. Oh, what the fucking shit? No, just copy the.
Jesus Christ. It's,
Alright.
But I just can't see her doing it. Like from the
I-
photos I've seen of her on the red carpet, I'm just like, you don't look like you can throw a hammer.
But so we
Much
haven't
less
seen
hold
what
one.
she looks like yet. We haven't seen what she looks like as.
If they CGI her muscles, then I'm done. Fuck it. It's like put some effort into it at least.
All right,
Come on.
but you've already established Jane Foster as being Natalie Portman, so it's one of those things where it's like, how else are you going to do it?
We've done recasting before.
Why? No, God, no. That's a negative.
I didn't.
That's always a negative.
Hey, I didn't say it was a good idea. I said it's been done. That's
okay. So let's open link a new tab. Hold on. God, just no.
No, I know. I mean, for the audience, it really fucks up continuity when, hey, this person's different now. Like, imagine like Ryan Reynolds not being Deadpool for Deadpool 3. It's like, what the hell?
So I posted this picture in live show. This is
Ryan
from the
Reynolds is
comics.
Deadpool in real life. Are you kidding me?
Yeah, I will agree with
just
that.
like,
You can never make anyone else Deadpool.
It's like Tony Stark is Robert Downey Jr. That's no.
I think actually newer comics have modeled Tony Stark after Robert Downey Jr.
Yeah.
I'm almost 100% sure of that.
He's
I might be
played
wrong.
it so well. So
Um,
that shot you're showing me, she's not
she's not
like,
ripped.
No, she's not ripped, but
I don't see any issue with Natalie Portman by 2022 looking like that.
I think by 2022. I thought this was coming out within the next year.
No.
Okay.
This 4-year plan is within like 2 years.
She'd have to work on her tonnage.
Oh yeah, definitely. But when has an actor not done something like that? Look at Chris Pratt. Chris Pratt was a fat oaf.
Look at Christian Bale. Dude's
God.
been to like anorexia and back.
Back, yeah, he has. So me personally, I have no issue with Natalie Portman being there because I've seen what she looks like in the comics, and she fits, and I don't see her by the time they need to start shooting her having any issue getting there. I will be very disappointed.
Wait. They're gonna start shooting in 2022, or they're
2021. So she's got 2 years.
Oh, so the release date is 22. Okay, yeah. I'm with you now. So, just as long as she can act her way out of a cardboard box, unlike in Revenge of the Sith.
Hey, you know what? I will hear nothing bad about the third.
I'm gonna say it out loud.
No.
It's just a joke. Alright, so the last thing that we are going to end on, because I find this hilarious, is 8 controversies that have already...
Like, what the fuck? Let me find it here.
So,
here we go.
So just click next. We're not even going to read the beginning of that. And I'm going to read this one.
Moving on. Ow. Fucking god.
So, alright. So, apparently there have been multiple controversies around Cyberpunk 2077 since its initial teaser trailer back in 2013, which is not all that surprising, but kind of interesting just on the basis of this first one alone.
What the fuck is this website?
I don't know. I wish we could ignore it.
I haven't seen this many ads since the 90s.
That's why I closed it.
Alright.
My computer was going to get ads herpes.
Alright. There.
What, you found an ad-free version?
No. Just look at your concerns in live show.
Oh, you just... Okay.
I mean, I'd block her on, so
it's like a Discord version of Unroll.
Oh my god, some of these, like...
They're stupid.
Yeah, like, Pondsmith has ripped these apart, like, dude, you're missing the fucking point.
Yeah, no, and that's why I wanted to read these. Alright, so, I'm gonna head back to...
Well, I'm gonna leave this cancerous page up because... fucking goddamn... I need...
Jesus, man.
No, like, I just need some tweezers to take care of this shit. I'll do it later. I gotta not lean my hand on the right side.
Alright, so, anybody who has Twitter skeletons in their closet these days, and CD Projekt Red and GOG have three doozies, which I just want to put quotation marks around these because these are fucking hilarious. None of them I would consider like actual bad things. All right, so Sean Halliday ran the social media for both companies. Both companies being CD Projekt Red and GOG. GOG being a distributor of games that are DRM free. They're fantastic, but they are. I think their parent company is CD Projekt Red, the makers of Cyberpunk 2077 and The Witcher. The first two, first got into trouble after tweeting a picture of someone urinating on a gravestone marked "Games Journalism" committed suicide in reference to the Gamergate controversy, and I
This guy's
fucking
woke.
that's just fucking great.
Man.
It's great. The other two tweets were labeled transphobic, with one using the hashtag "won't be erased" used to discuss trans experiences in America to promote GOG's PC game.
Just some bad timing. Or they were just like, hey, people are talking about this. Let's get on that bandwagon. Which, if you're in marketing, you can't be mad at that. Like, if you're looking at trends, you want to ride that trend, well, you know what? You're just good at marketing.
The other replied to an innocent tweet about guys gaming in an unoriginal gag. Did you just assume my gender? Or their gender? Which is fucking great. There are some things I'm not even gonna read there, because a lot of their defense is in defense of the controversy, not really defense of what happened. So like they're defending, they're like, well, CD Projekt Red isn't at fault. But that assumes that what is up there is worthy to be fault of. Which I disagree with. So, number 7. Enemies just seem compelled
by addiction.
Yes. Onto the action game itself. While there are some more legitimate grievances later on in this list, this complaint does feel a bit stretched.
Like a bit of a stretch, especially in isolation.
Oh man, I'm sorry, I had to burp a little bit because it was so dumb. However, when coupled with some of the other controversial continuous issues, it has garnered some negative press and probably won't affect too many people's decisions on whether or not to actually buy the game. It might tarnish their enjoyment. Or not. We have only seen a tiny morsel of what CD Projekt Red has to offer, and all said and done. However, the animals, which were probably a low point of the demo, no they weren't, they were great. They're very generic, bulky antagonists who only are interested in juice. No real explanation for this is given.
That's all the explanation they need.
First off, we're talking about cyberpunk. This genre is filled with people who are augmenting themselves in different ways. One of them is drugs.
Chemical augmentations, yeah.
Yeah, so it's a stupid thing. Also, they're taking this from a demo. Other villains, such as the Voodoo Boys, at least have some narrative. V has to work with them initially and learns that they're obsessed with the transcendence, the idea of uploading themselves into cyberspace. How is that a bad... Again, how is this controversial? I don't...
The whole voodoo... Well, that'll build into what the other controversies are.
Yeah, I know.
So... But, yeah,
but basically they're
basic
saying...
transhumanism.
Yeah, so, in that case, it's way short of The Witcher's nuance, which I actually disagree with vehemently.
It's being tastefully
All right, number
done.
6. Lack of diverse enemies.
Oh,
The
come
animals
on.
show... yeah. The animals shown were all people of color, and a few who got their hands on the demo reported feeling uncomfortable. After all, you were spend an early exchanges of the game killing faceless, nameless black men only referred to as animals.
Meanwhile, Resident Evil 5 did nothing wrong.
They did get in trouble, didn't they?
Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah, they
but
did.
the
Yeah.
game is also set in Africa?
Yeah, no.
I'm sorry, that has been the argument since it actually came out, and it's 100% true and real. However, they don't give a shit.
Yeah, no, I don't feel like that was anything for anybody to get upset about. That was dumb when I heard that argument originally. I'm just like, wait, you...
I mean, there's a
Are
reason why.
upset.
There's a reason why the majority of the zombies in Resident Evil 2 were white.
Because you were in America. No, the Midwest, right?
Yeah, somewhere around.
Yeah. Yeah, Midwest America. It's not a lot of white people. Alright, now see... if you squint a little, you can kind of see what they're going for. Taking race off the table, juice-addicted criminals and are faceless monsters. Dehumanized to make them easier to kill in a dystopian propaganda message 101.
And because
I
they're
am-
trying to kill you.
I
Yeah.
am 100% certain that Mike Pondsmith is a white supremacist, even though he is a black man himself.
He's gotten in trouble for racism, and it's hilarious to me.
Because he's
Um,
like, dude, what the fuck?
Taking race off the table is easier said than done in 2019, especially for a game with which title which is inherently political. Oh my god.
What?
So here's the thing. We haven't played the game. We don't know the setup for where they are, the setup for any of these characters. We know very little bits of information beyond what is told to you in the D&D.
The title is political?
See,
I guess
Cyberpunk?
punk
Cyberpunk-
resistance, but
Well, Cyberpunk, the genre, that's always had political things in it, hasn't it? It's
Well, yeah,
about
it's-
a dystopian
it's-
future where...
it's incorporated politics into
Yeah.
it. But the tabletop doesn't always explore those. It's all about jacking yourself up with cybernetics to be the best you can. If you want to explore politics, that's what your GM does. The title itself is not inherently political, unless you want to take it as a portmanteau of cybernetics and punk, cyberpunk, punk being the resistance. That's as far as you can really take that line of logic. I don't understand how, to the average person, cyberpunk as a title seems political. I just don't.
Oh god, this next thing. Now, CD Projekt Red have insisted that the animals are varied of races, and it was just
it's
the
a
starting
gang name.
district, which... Yeah, but... I think this is a moot point, because it doesn't even matter. It's saying that it was just the starting district, which caused them all to be of color. If that is the case, fine. Arguably more realistic than even the multiracial games that I've often shown in media. Okay. This is the reason why I wanted to read this. It's hilarious how stupid these points are, just as being a problem.
Mhm.
All right. So, number 5, racial Caribbean stereotypes.
Oh my god.
So I'm guessing this is referring to the Voodoo Boys.
So, would you like Jamaicans from not Jamaica?
Like, okay, so you're looking for a culture that is inherently versed and has a lot of history with voodoo, right? Which one do you
Mhm.
pick? Do you pick Jamaicans who have this inherent culture, or do you make up your own that's white or that's not black and then get called out?
Cajun and Creole culture too for voodoo. Really, like you can.
Or you could.
I mean, that's a big thing in Louisiana.
That's definitely true. But here's the thing: like, I feel like it's you're screwed at both ends because a lot of people do connect voodoo as being a inherently like Haitian or Jamaican thing. Where
As opposed to what,
like I'm saying,
what else is it connected to? That's my question.
it's
Like,
not.
yeah,
It's
that's
not.
what I mean.
So,
That's what I mean.
So having Haitians have that culture ingrained into them in your game is the only way it makes sense. I mean, unless they're arguing against the even idea of having people who are into voodoo, just like just saying no, this shouldn't be in your game. This shouldn't exist at all. Because that's my logical like conclusion of what their issues with this is.
Yeah. It's like you did something bad, therefore it shouldn't exist in any game. Even though it's being as true to history as it possibly can be, it's still bad.
So, hypersexualized trans billboard.
I'm gonna say a lot of trans are hypersexualized.
I will
Okay.
agree with that completely. Alright, so has I gotten to that?
When I just pulled it up on stream. When I saw this go live on Twitter, there were people on both sides arguing about it, and what I saw from the more conservative side is, oh, this is wrong, like this is yada yada, and I'm like, okay, I think I've made this case to you before, Pav, but thinking about it in terms of what works for the game. Keanu Reeves said it himself, body modification has become an obsession. Explain to me, right or wrong, why this sort of character does not belong in this game when body modification has become an obsession.
Well, I think it's just even I find
Like, what is body modification limited to? Nothing.
yeah. So
It's any
here's
part.
my issue. Here's the issue that I'm coming to. If you are looking to create a culture again within a game, you look at the culture in reality. So what has been very much staples of the trans community, the LGBT community, things like drag, or things like how pride parades go. It's all very hypersexualized, and they're not ashamed of it, right?
Right.
It's
but
not
the
something
average person
to
is
be-
like, dude, what are you doing?
Right. But so when viewing that as, say, even just an outsider, this is not something they're like, all right, so we're trying to recreate this community. These are things that we actually see, therefore they're going to be in there. I find this point just laughable because, all right, hold on, I'm gonna read this. Leading into that comes another thorny issue. It's one of those things where if potential racial insensitivity is a non-issue for you, this is probably be as well. That's fine and all, but arguments to keep politics out of video game rings video games ring hollow when the game is called Cyberpunk.
Well,
I think
you could let's say you cut politics out of Cyberpunk entirely.
Okay.
Fine. But then the world is going to be a lot more bland. What makes the game interesting, like, okay, I'll give you an example. Skyrim.
Okay.
The Empire against the Nords. There's
Right.
politics in there. It's up to you who's good, who's bad, who you want to side with. Whatever.
Right.
They're not really setting boundaries of right and wrong. They're just saying, here are the opposing factions. And there's politics in there on some level. So, just
Okay, hold on. Let's. I wanna read this next little bit because this
Yeah.
confuses me. The genre that has a rich history of transhumanism, anti-corporate, anti-objectivism.
I don't know if that belongs in there.
No, I don't think that belongs in here. And pro-proletariat and counterculture themes. It was built on politics.
Okay, can you have an objective truth if everything is cybernetically enhanced? That's a
Aside
valid
from
question.
Just being a person.
And pig, I mean, like you've got. Oh, how do I want to put this? If everything's digital, what's real? If everything is digitized in some capacity, where is reality?
Where does the line draw?
Yeah.
I understand. Reality is only what the mind perceives.
There we
So,
go.
Even if it's digitized, you can perceive it. Thus, it is real.
Yeah. Okay, if CD Projekt Red is going to wade into the conversation, it's going to attract attention. It was reported recently that Cyberpunk will possibly allow you to play as a No, not possibly. We've seen it. You can play as a transgender or non-binary character. Okay. This was set against a backdrop of highly sexualized poster featuring trans women with a huge cybernetic bulge, and the tagline "Mix it up." See, again, this is not an issue. I feel
not
like
inconsistent with the world,
no,
and that's why I don't have an issue with it.
In fact, it's like
it's a plus.
A prediction of
You
how normalized the
you want a dick to
the
match a
trap-
Clydesdales?
I mean,
we
it's
can
just-
do that for you.
I
Fucking.
think
it's a prediction of how prevalent the trap fetish will become if according to current trends.
so. The in-your-face sexuality imagery will be eye-grabbing in any case, but on a feminine body, and that's amplified 10 times over. No publicity is bad.
All the time.
I don't
Yeah.
I don't understand this. I find this because this is not is this okay, so a lot of LGBT is very much about normalizing and getting rid of any negative feelings or any other feelings about trans people, all this kinds of stuff, but it's going about it in a way that is very similar to this picture. So I don't see what their issue is, because this is exactly what like from what it looks like, Cyberpunk 2077 will be the world that a lot of LGBT people will want.
Here's what the issue is. Someone else is doing it. That's what the issue is.
Yeah.
They're
Someone
not
who
doing
is
it,
not
so it's
me
a
is
problem.
doing this. Therefore, you've done it wrong.
There you go. That's what it is.
Okay, well,
That is the quote unquote controversy. Is you didn't do it right, and if you look at this with what's done in this image, it's like how else would it be done? Please explain. For Christ's
Because
sake.
y'all are doing it IRL all the freaking time. And I mean, just look at the San Francisco Gay Pride Parade.
right.
Seriously.
It's very much
You
similar
have
to
a
that.
problem with this. You have a problem with this billboard. How?
Right. It doesn't make any sense to me. Alright, so CD Projekt Red's response to the billboard was actually pretty measured and has given some people confidence that Cyberpunk 2077 will be able to pull off such a boundary-pushing social commentary. CD Projekt's Red artist Kirsa something claimed hypersexualization is everywhere in the game. The billboard monitor. Okay.
Oh my
so
god.
This,
Yes.
So the issue that they have with that billboard is that they're seeing it within the microcosm of just that picture, and they're not thinking that that's going to be consistent throughout the rest of the world. Really?
If you want to get
That
implants,
is so fucking retarded.
if you want implants to have the perfect tits, guess what? In this game, you can fucking do that. You want goddamn double D cups? Boom, there they are. You can do that.
What? You want a 9-inch cock to match?
You
Yeah.
can do that too. Fuck it. We'll do it live.
You were saying.
An apparent symbol for corporation abusing people's desire and dressing it up as they participate in rainbow capitalism. Yeah, that's kind of the point of Cyberpunk 2077, or just the point of Cyberpunk, the genre itself.
It's
the
an
world
extrapolation of the modern day.
Yeah, the world
Fuck.
is not a good place to live in.
Cyberpunk 2020 was an extrapolation of how it was then, and it's a pretty close match to how it is now. It's kind of scary.
Trans women, and to an extent queer people in general, have frequently been fetishized in the media. Oh, that's where they're going with this.
Have they really?
So, no, they haven't. I mean, they have on the left. So this focus is actually the game making a self-aware commentary on, and that's great. Okay. So this next point is not even a controversy. If we see a real gender non-conforming character displayed in more than just their body parts, or can even mix it up with V's ourselves, Cyberpunk will be pushing the boundaries in a positive way. Okay, I'm done with this. I'm moving to the next one.
Yeah.
Two. For Pig. 2. You might be able to play as a trans. Okay.
We don't need to.
How
cover-
is this?
We don't. we
How
don't
is
need
this
to-
a controversy?
we
Hold on,
don't
I
need
want to know how
cover
this is.
Well,
Hold
we
on.
can, but
I think we've gotten an idea of what the fuck is wrong with this article.
Yeah.
because it's
I don't-
like I'm just gonna sum up this section with what I said before. How is this inconsistent with the game?
This is simply outrage. be
It's just
outraged.
people being salty for the sake of being salty. It's like,
Yeah.
come on.
It's,
If you don't understand this, you don't understand the core game.
all right.
Go
so
read
it
the
is-
manuals.
It is. It is 8:03.
And Pig is
And-
on the ropes.
I've already been down for the count, and I made it back up before it got to the 1. Just to be clear, I was very silent for a while there because I had actually fallen asleep. Here.
Okay.
It's a good thing you weren't snoring. That would have been hilarious.
I'm going to address this very last controversy, crunch time. Every studio goes through it. Every single
Yeah.
one. Every company goes through crunch time. This is not a controversy. It just happens.
Well, okay, so that's also another thing. Like with just quick start point. Even films, everything that can go wrong at the end does.
Yeah.
Something always happens that leads you to spend like 2 nights staying up until 6 a.m. just to get it finished.
Yeah.
At least it was a film. It's a bigger push for like something like a game. There's a lot more moving parts. But yeah, no, it's dumb.
There's no controversy here. It just happens.
It's a controversy.
So.
Controversy. I think most of this was controversy, in my opinion.
It started out kind of strong with, yeah, we can talk about this, and then it just was like, what are you doing?
It's like watching a train wreck in slow motion.
Yeah.
You want to look away, but you just can't.
All right, that's a good spot to
All
end
right.
it. Let's let Pig go to bed.
Ladies and
Yep.
gentlemen, thank you for joining us tonight with Locked and Loaded while we talk all things geek culture.
Apparently.
Literally, we're talking all things geek culture right now. Please be sure to join us again on next Friday. What's wrong with me? Next Monday
It's
night,
your Friday.
where we talk about stuff. Again, we have no idea what we're talking about next Monday night. If we're even talking.
It's always a crapshoot.
Oh, psh.
Being said, closing arguments, gentlemen, or statements at least.
Mike Pondsmith did nothing wrong.
Who the fuck is that?
It's the creator of
the
Cyberpunk.
creator of Cyberpunk, the whole franchise.
Oh, okay.
He's a shit teacher though. I'll tell you that.
He was also creative designer, I think, on this game.
Yeah.
Don't eat your cats unless they deserve it. So eat your cats.
That's a fucking
Don't
cop-out.
eat or yeet.
Hey. Not that. Come on, dude. You can't discriminate against other cultures, no matter how inferior they may be.
I'm talking to Americans here, not those damn commies. No, fucking.
All right. My closing statements are: don't podcast and sleep drive thing. I don't
Close
know where I
enough.
was going with this. It had something to do with don't drink and drive, or don't drive while tired, or something in podcasting.
Okay, I'll throw this in before we go. After last week with Prime Week and the hours I had to pull, ladies and gentlemen, please, for my sanity, don't drink in Prime. Just
That
don't.
actually flowed a little bit better than what I was trying to say. Anyways, ladies and gentlemen who joined us in the audience, thank you and good night.
Good
Good night.
night.